Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wordle with Art! We are getting so close to the end of this crazy April challenge month. Today's challenge is, yes, we have to form an X using the exact same letter throughout the entire challenge, okay? It has to be the shape of an X, which means we're gonna start in the upper left corner and work our way down to the bottom fifth row on the right, and we have to use that exact same letter on the upper right corner and go in the opposite direction down to the fifth row, all the way to the left. So we're gonna form an X. All right, so after quite a bit of practice and trying to decide what letter to use, I decided to go with E. It seems to be the most reliable, and after all, most words do contain E, so let's go with it. And it's kind of funny. I actually decided to go with elate, which is essentially the same as slate. Minus, unfortunately, the S, but we will hopefully try to pick that up later. So here we go. Keep our fingers crossed. This is, again, going to be a tough one. Guys, stay put. You will not believe what Art has devised for the final two challenges. It is pure, unadulterated evil, okay? So stay put. You won't believe what I came up with, but I also think you're going to find it to be super cool. Do not go anywhere, okay? Why would you want to go anywhere anyway? We're about to solve this Wordle. I mean, come on. Everybody would like to see Art take a hit with only 2 days to go, right? All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. So let's go with the late. Let's not waste any more time and see what we got. An A, okay. Not great, not great. Now, I think a very good word to do next. I mean, we have no choice, right? To complete this challenge, we have to put those two E's in the second and fourth, but I think series is pretty good. We will get a C, an R, and an S, and those look 100% compatible with that A. You know, for instance, it could be crash, I guess. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go with series. I think that's pretty good. Yes! Okay, this is, woo! This is so good. This is, oh my goodness, this is so good. All right. I was a little surprised when I practiced that it took series, but I just felt that that was really good because otherwise I was just getting stuck in these kind of like tenet ruts, and that's kind of a waste of the T, right? But yeah, series is really good. It's also a moon. I think it's a fairly large. No, it's actually not just. No, it's not a moon. I think it's one of those. Well, hey, any of you astronomy buffs, isn't it one of those like exoplanets or one of those dwarf planets on the outer edge of our solar system? Let me know. Okay, but in any case, this is not about astronomy. This is about words, and we have to try to still nail this. We're not out of the woods yet. Now, words that come to mind, let's see, if the A were to go second, it could be, well, it's not going to be obviously like carve or anything like that. We already had carrot. That wouldn't work anyway. So let's just kind of anticipate what we have here. That's always the best way to go, right? You don't want to just blindly throw in words that end up being completely useless, and then you're down to the wire on your last guess. So it could, the A could go there, in which case we could be looking at, oh, this is funny. I remember putting that in, and it really helped tremendously on a previous challenge. So I suppose carbo could work. I'm not really familiar, to be quite honest, guys, with the actual master list of the words. I am, however, pretty darn familiar, I would say about 95%, with the previous ones. To me, that's the most important because you absolutely never want to waste a guess on a word that you already used, unless it's like superior for evaluation. I just don't know if we've had carbo. I mean, it looks reasonable. It does. But let's also... So the way I see it is it would be maybe that or with a Y. So let me just, okay, we had carry, okay? Again, in my crazy little thing that I put together, I just have a picture of one guy carrying another, I guess maybe through some sort of like physical challenge. And that picture just really resonates with me, and so I know that we've had carry. Again, you never know. She may at some point start reintroducing previous solutions, but for now she hasn't so far. So not carry. We just have carbo so far. We had cargo. Yes, I have that image of that massive ship. Believe it or not, it was that one that was stuck. Remember in the Suez Canal, I think back in like 2021 or something. Um, and that thing like created the meme of the century. So cargo, we have had. Um, Carbo is looking pretty good. I don't see much else, and I don't see anything else that we can do with a Y. No, no, I don't. All right. So now let's just put our A here. In which case, you could do. It's not coral. But in any case, I think the O would be sort of helpful. All right, let's see here. I think, what am I going to do? We have a couple different ways we could play this out. I mean, I still want to be kind of careful. I mean, I feel great that we have 3 out of the 5, but apart from carbo, nothing really is really jumping out at me. Yeah. So let's what are we going to do here? Let's see about definitely get the O in there. I mean, if I could do something like this, that would be pretty cool. And then, we would at least confirm one more position for that A, because I think that's very important. Let's see here. Oh, actually, I could do opera, couldn't I? It's not too likely that the O would go at the end. Sorry, that the A would go at the end. But it's not terrible. I think I can go with opera, and to have the O in there would be very useful, even though we're not positioning it. So let's see. I still am maintaining my diagonal. Let's go with opera. Just checking my screen. Oh, okay. Well, that was like that kind of evened out. Although we didn't get the O, which I was anticipating, we have the A last. That's very interesting. We have the A last. Okay. So now what would this word be? It's going to be oh my goodness gracious me. Oh gosh, guys, I see it. I see it. This is a very sneaky one. I believe what we're looking at is circa. We have not had circa. Okay, the closest we've had to that would be maybe like civic. Yeah, I think we've got circa. That's the only thing I can possibly see that would fit there. So let's go ahead and try to establish some letters that would confirm that. I really don't see anything else it could be, because that C, R, and then A last is a very unusual structure. All right, so what can we do here? We could do, yeah, it's going to be very hard to exactly test that. But let's just look at what we have to set up here. We know we have to look like this. I basically would just, well, I can't test the C there, obviously, because we need to use the E there to complete the challenge. I would love to get an I. I just don't see it happening. But that's okay, because on our 5th guess, we could definitely do something like, exile. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to throw this one away. There's really nothing I can do here, but I do think we're going to get circa. Yeah, there's probably some unusual word I could put with an I at the end, but I can't think of one right off the bat. So let's just go ahead and put in, it really doesn't matter. This is essentially a wasted guess. I'm just making sure that I'm carefully making my X, but yeah, I'm just going to put in tenet. Why not? Okay, so that's looking good. And now what the best thing I can think of would be exile. Yeah, because I can't think of any other way that could work out. Exile, you know, I could also, I could try to put a C right at the end. Educe, for example, might work. That could be fine. I just don't know if I can do any better than that. But that would nail it. All right, if the C's there, then we're going to have circa. Okay, so let's go with educe. Whoops. Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys, I think we got this. Circa. Yes! Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. Wow. Oh my goodness, we survived. We survived. Look at that beautiful X of ease. And yep, it looks like it's perfectly maintained. I didn't screw it up. And we got the answer, which more or less had to happen in 6. Okay. Well, it has to happen because the word itself didn't end up with the first and last of the same letter. All right, guys, we have 2 days to go. So this is going to be extra special. Okay, so give me a minute to get this screen set up because you won't believe what I've done. It's going to be super cool. I'm going to be back in a flash and we're going to have fun figuring out what on earth we're going to do for our next challenge on the penultimate day of the April challenge month. All right, guys, so are you ready? Here we go. We are going to do for tomorrow's challenge, not just one challenge, but 2 challenges. That is correct. We are going to combine 2 previous challenges, and rather than for me to just, pick them myself, I decided let's let fate play a role, okay? Now, I made sure that the 2 challenges that we must combine in tomorrow's penultimate challenge are compatible with one another, because if you think about it, some of them would be absolutely impossible if you tried to combine them, and some just wouldn't even make sense. So I made sure that these are compatible with one another. So let us go ahead and take a peek at the wheel here. And as you can see, we've got 4 familiar friends. Do you remember we had to do the double letter challenge where every row had to include a word with at least 2 of the same letter? Then we had the challenge where we had a 5-letter diagonal. So you could start in the upper left corner or the upper right corner, go all the way down to row 5 to create a diagonal of the same letter. We had the challenge where the yellow tiles have to be greater than the green tiles. And then we had the challenge where you had to use the fun letters J, Q, X, and Z at least once, okay? So they don't have to be repeated if you don't want to. All right, so let us go ahead and spin the wheel to figure out what is going to be our first challenge, and then we'll go to the next wheel and combine it with a second challenge. So both challenges must be satisfied, guys. This is going to be absolutely insane. Here we go. I am going to spin the wheel, and we are going to see what our first challenge is. Let's go. Okay, keep your fingers crossed that it's not going to be too diabolically difficult. Oh, that's kind of ironic. It went from a yellow sector of the circle to a green sector. All right. We have to make sure that our yellows are greater than the greens. And that already was kind of a tough challenge, as I recall. Not impossible, but yellow greater than greens, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? And now let us go to see what we have to combine that with. Okay, guys, as if that's not bad enough, let's go ahead and see what we're going to combine it with. All right, here comes the second part of the challenge. Here we go. 4 familiar friends. Do you remember? We had to recently do alphabetical order. That was pretty tricky. We had to do art times 2. Okay, so remember we had to include 2 words that included art in that exact 3-letter consecutive fashion in the word. So for instance, like smart and chart would be totally acceptable. We had vowels greater than consonants. That was another tough one. And very early on, in fact, I think it was like my 2nd or 3rd challenge of the month, we had to do 2 palindromes. Okay, guys? So here we go. What are we going to combine the yellows greater than green tiles with? Let's give it a spin and find out. Two palindromes, all right? 2 palindromes, guys. You know, I would say of all the different possible combinations, that one doesn't strike me as being too diabolically difficult, okay? I don't think so. But you have to have two palindromes, and then, so I have to visibly see those, something like a kayak or a tenet or a radar. And then we're going to count up the tiles, including your solution, and we have to make sure that the number of yellows will exceed the number of greens. Practice makes perfect, guys. Trust me, okay? Practice makes perfect. It's the best way to make sure that you can completely succeed on this challenge. And then, oh, get ready, because I think you might be able to anticipate what's going to happen for the grand finale, okay? Well, there you have it, guys. Good luck. You know what to do. And I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow for yet another edition of Wordle with Art.